Welcome, CERN alumni, and welcome everyone to CERN. My name is Rachel Bray, and I'm head of CERN Alumni Relations. And today, the 8th of June, is a very special day for the CERN Alumni Network because today we're celebrating the 6th anniversary. Now, there's some outstanding people and individuals who've developed skills and talents during their time at CERN and have gone on to contribute to making a better world. And we should be meeting two of them shortly. Often, an experience at CERN can be a springboard to launch your career. So today, to tell us more about that, I'm joined by my colleague from the Human Resources Department, and in particular, Talent Acquisition, Barbara Binder. Now, she's going to tell you everything you need to know about applying for a position at CERN. Welcome, Barbara, and thank you for joining us to celebrate this special anniversary.
Hi, Rachel, and thank you so much for inviting me to celebrate the 6th anniversary of the vibrant CERN Alumni Network. And I totally agree. A professional experience at CERN can definitely be a great springboard for your career. And I'm here today to share more details on how to join CERN and have this amazing experience.
Thanks, Barbara. So, coming right up after this short break, we have our very first special guest. Now, this is somebody who joined CERN in 2016 and previously worked at the UN, Charlotte Varoukhale, who's Director for International Relations at CERN. Later on, we'll also be chatting to the head of Human Resources, James Purvis. So if you have any questions for our CERN guests or our alumni guests that are going to join us later, don't hesitate to put them in the chat. Now, listen carefully, as we also have some fantastic gifts to give away in our quiz. So the first person to answer in the chat will win some amazing prizes. Now, we'll be right back after this very short video. Now, the CERN Alumni Network now has, listen carefully, 8,840 members, and we're growing. So if you work or if you have worked at CERN and you haven't joined yet, please do so by going to alumni.cern and clicking on the join button. And then you'll be able to discover all the benefits of becoming a member of this vibrant community, such as being part of an inclusive network of like-minded people with a shared experience, mentoring, a jobs board, impactful events, and also staying connected with the organization and its people, amongst others. So keep watching, as we'll be giving away some cool CERN alumni prizes. And don't forget, if you've got a question for any of our guests, go ahead and put it in the chat. Now, you might have seen behind me, today we're extremely lucky to be broadcasting from the Neutrino Platform. The CERN Neutrino Platform is CERN's undertaking to foster and contribute to fundamental research in neutrino physics at particle accelerators worldwide, as recommended by the European Strategy for Particle Physics. It includes the provision of a facility at CERN to allow the global community of neutrino experts to develop and prototype the next generation of neutrino detectors. The CERN Neutrino Platform is CERN's main contribution to a globally coordinated program of neutrino research. Now, if you want to find out more, join us live on the 15th of June, 6 p.m. Central European Summer Time. And it's now time to introduce you to our very first special guest, who joined CERN in 2016 and formerly worked in the UN. Charlotte Varoukhale, Director for International Relations here at CERN. Thank you so much for joining us today, Charlotte, to celebrate our 6th anniversary. Now, the CERN Alumni Program falls under your aegis and is in the international relations sector. Could you tell us why it was important for CERN to have an alumni network?
Well, first of all, congratulations. Happy birthday to the CERN Alumni Network. Congratulations to you, Rachel, and to the entire team. Thank you, Barbara, also for being with us today. I think it's very, very important that we have you here as well. The decision to start an alumni program in 2016 and launching in 2017 was really first and foremost, driven by a wish to create a platform for connections for our alumni to stay connected with the organization and with each other. In the past, many alumni had had a great experience at CERN. They left, but they had no means of staying in touch with the organization in a structured way, and they had no way of engaging amongst themselves. So the Alumni Network provides a platform for them to do that. And this allows them to create connections, to help each other, to mentor, to have that sense of community that goes well beyond the time that they're at CERN. Of course, for the organization, it's also a great opportunity for us to show the valuable impact that our alumni have on society. They go on to have incredible careers in a variety of sectors: medtech, renewable energies, nanotechnology, government, finance, all sorts of areas. And we have some of our great alumni with us today, Patrick and Kitty. You'll get to hear more from them later. This is, of course, an incredible resource for society in general. It's a resource for the organization to stay in touch with them and to engage with them, to have them support the organization, and also to spread the word about the value of fundamental research and, of course, about what happens at CERN. So the Alumni Network allows us to do all of that. But first and foremost, it's really to create a platform to stay connected and to continue this sense of community and family that there is at CERN well beyond the end of a particular contract.
Absolutely, Charlotte. Thank you. I fully agree. So all those CERN alumni do remember to stay connected. Now, Charlotte, on today's anniversary, do you have a particularly special message you'd like to share with members of the community?
Well, first of all, happy birthday. I think this is a fantastic milestone. The network has grown incredibly. You mentioned how many members we have, close to 9,000. This is an enormous network of mutual support. So I really want to encourage everybody to stay connected, to get engaged. If you're not a member yet, sign up. If you are a member, figure out how you want to use the network in the best possible way. It's going to be as active and as interesting as you make it and as we make it together, whether it's participating in some of the incredible events, whether it's posting job opportunities, mentoring those who are also in a career transition, for example, coming back to CERN. Whatever it is, there are so many opportunities depending on what you're interested in, where you are. Maybe there's a regional group close to you. Maybe you wish to start a regional group wherever you are. The network is really what we make of it together. So I really encourage everybody to either sign up, and if you're already signed up, then just get connected, get engaged. And then I have, I think, a very important announcement to make, which is that between the 9th and the 11th of February 2024, we will be hosting Third Collisions, which is the third alumni reunion event. It will take place at the Science Gateway and also at other places at CERN. So the Science Gateway is our new flagship education and outreach center, which opens in autumn of 23. And the Alumni Third Collisions event will take place there and give you an opportunity also to experience the Science Gateway. And the Alumni Third Collisions event also takes place within the context of our 70th anniversary next year. So it's really all about celebrating and honoring also the achievements of the organization collectively over the past 7 decades, and really also about looking forward to the future, because this is a very important moment in the history of the organization. We have a very vibrant physics program with the upgrade of the Large Hadron Collider that runs now until the early 2040s. But then also the discussion is really about what's going to come next. And there are fantastic plans for a physics program basically until the end of the century. So our network here, the alumni, are also part of that community and that community effort. And the anniversary will be all about also looking to the future. So stay connected, join the Alumni Third Collisions event 9 to 11 of February of next year, and use the network as much as you can. It's your network, and please make the most of it.
Thank you so much, Charlotte, for that. What an exciting announcement you've made about our large-scale Third Collisions event taking place between the 9th and the 11th of February next year. So make sure you put it in your diary. Thank you also, Charlotte, for celebrating the 6th anniversary of the network with us today, and also for your unwavering support of the CERN Alumni Programme. I do understand that you have to leave us now, so thank you so much. And
thank you so much.
See you soon. Thank you.
Enjoy the rest of the day. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you. So, Barbara, what do you think? Do you think it's time for our first quiz question?
Yes. So to win this fantastic CERN alumni umbrella, who can tell us exactly how many members are part of the vibrant CERN Alumni Network? Put your answers in the chat. The first to answer correctly will win this fantastic umbrella.
Thanks.
But over to you.
Thanks, Barbara. So now we've met Charlotte. It's now time to meet our first amazing CERN alumni guest. We're heading over to Germany to meet Dr. Patrick Launer, who is a full professor of artificial intelligence at Deggendorf Institute of Technology, and that was from the age of 30. He's been ranked by CDO magazine and Global AI Hub among the worldwide academic data leaders. In parallel to his academic roles, he's the founder and CEO of Skyrocket AI, an AI consulting firm. As an expert witness, he's advised the parliaments of France, Germany, and Luxembourg. He also regularly advises politicians from Europe, from European, federal, state, and local levels. And he's also published 5 books.
Also a technical student here at CERN from 2011 till 2012, and then a fellow from 2012 to 2014. Welcome, Patrick.
Hi, Patrick.
Hi. Hi, thanks for hosting the event.
It's great to see you again, and thank you so much for joining us. So I'm going to dive right in there with a question. After you got your bachelor's in computer science, you came to work at CERN. First, you were a technical student, and then you were a fellow. So a fellow is, in fact, what we now call a graduate. What impact did your CERN experience have on your professional career?
Well, I started in the IT department in the CERN document server team and worked on text mining, search engines, and all of that around the document management system of CERN. And that was eventually maneuvered me into AI later on in my career. So the CERN experience proved to be a very helpful foundation for my entire AI career. And at CERN, I had the opportunity to work with very smart people on very large projects around a very large IT system. And I got to see most of CERN because everyone at CERN uses CDS and sort of needs new features. And over those years, I got to meet pretty much every department, every group, and so forth, and saw what they were doing.
We use CDS as well, Patrick, you'll be happy to know. So it really sounds like your CERN experience was very inspirational, and it also, as you said, served to be a foundation. So after having done computer science, you went into AI. So we can see that CERN alumni go on and have very diverse career trajectories. Now, I was wondering, Patrick, if you could tell us what activities you're focusing on at the moment.
Well, as a professor, I teach AI, I do research in AI, but in addition to writing papers, I want to have impact and solve real problems. So I do industry consulting, I help companies taking advantage of AI and making money out of it. I do management workshops, I do technical trainings, I help implementing AI prototypes. So that's a lot of fun because we can add real value to companies through AI. But I also do political advisory, as you have mentioned before, and advise politicians on all levels, including top-level government officials, ministers, and so forth.
That sounds amazing, Patrick. So one of the myths we would like to bust today is that CERN only recruits physicists, which in fact, we hire more engineers than physicists. So if you work in one of the engineering fields like mechanical, civil, electrical, among others, or computer science, mathematics, even administrative fields, make sure to apply to CERN. Patrick, for example, you're not a physicist, as you mentioned. You have a PhD in computer science. So what would your advice be for any students or graduates that would like to work at CERN and apply?
Well, all roles are somehow linked to physics, yet they're extremely diverse. As you mentioned, the majority of people working at CERN are not physicists, it's engineers and computer scientists. If you work in IT, there are numerous opportunities at CERN, be it IT close to physics, like machine learning, data analysis, but there are plenty of other support activities like AI or computer science for document management, internal IT, IT and computing for administrative software and so forth. So there are opportunities all over the place, and they are all extremely exciting. And you as a student already can engage and contribute a lot and make a change. So I think it's just a great opportunity for your future career.
Thank you, Patrick. So it really shows that you can have a very broad experience here at CERN. So Patrick, thank you so much for your wise words. I hope you can stay with us for the Q&A session coming up. So if you've got any questions for Patrick, please make sure that you put them in the chat. Barbara.
Great advice. Thank you so much, Patrick. I think it's important to say that we have opportunities for everyone here at CERN. So at whichever stage in your career you're at, or whichever field you study or work in, we probably have a program for you. And I can go into more detail later, but as you can see, we have members working in controlling the nerve center of CERN's beam system, so to say, computing, robotics, some engineers working directly on our accelerators. For example, you probably know the LHC, which we call the fastest racetrack on the planet here at CERN. But we also have members working in cryogenics, superconducting, but as I mentioned earlier, of course, also administrative fields. So I would say at CERN, the opportunities are almost endless.
Thanks, Barbara. So as you can see, we don't employ just physicists. We're looking for a very broad range of different people working in different sectors with different capabilities. And if you want to become a member of the CERN Alumni Network, you're going to have to work at CERN first. So you have your information now. Why not go ahead and submit your application? If you still need some further information, you can ask your questions in the chat, and we'll come to those in our Q&A segment at the end. So stay tuned. Now, before we meet our next special CERN alumni guest, it's time for another quiz question to win this fabulous CERN goodie bag. So, the question is, in which department did Patrick do his fellowship? The first person to write the correct answer in the chat will win that amazing goodie bag. Now, let's make our way to the UK, where we're going to meet CERN alumna Kitty Liao.
Yes, I'm delighted to introduce Kitty, who is an entrepreneur, an inventor, engineer, innovator, and also public speaker. In 2014, Kitty founded her own company, Ideabatic, who has won over 20 global innovation awards.
Kitty was also a fellow here at CERN, so a fellow is now what we call graduates, from 2010 to 2013. So Kitty, a very warm welcome from CERN and from the Neutrino Platform. Thanks for joining us today. And again, I'm going to dive straight in with a question. Could you tell us about your 3 years at CERN and what you actually learned from that experience?
Yes, definitely. If I just don't stop, please stop me at some point. So I would say the first thing is that the work-life balance is fantastic. So let's talk about work first. So I got the opportunity to work independently, developing my own project, something to do with cryogenics, so developing a detection system for superconducting cavities or superconducting accelerators. And another part of my job was to develop a completely new temperature mapping system, also for the similar accelerators. So in that second project, so I started with the design, and I was able to gather all of the talents I needed at CERN. So I worked with people in the technology department, in the materials department, in beams department, which was my department, and also in the engineering department. So all of those people, they came together, and so we were able to deliver this multidisciplinary system all together. So it was just fantastic. So on the life side of things, so, you know, in Geneva, so we were surrounded by the beautiful mountains and also the lakes. So in winter, I would go skiing. So, oh yeah, speaking of skiing, there are actually a lot of societies and clubs in CERN, so you're also able to learn skills, learn how to play violin, for example, or learn to do skiing. And so in summer, I just went swimming in the Geneva Lake. So it was just fantastic. If I wasn't building my startup, I would continue working at CERN because it's just, there's nowhere like CERN. So yeah, definitely apply for it. And then another thing is, as you apply for these different programs, well, when you try the first time, if you didn't get picked, that doesn't mean that you're not good enough. It could just mean that, you know, each year we had different roles for specific, well, for different departments. So this year they might not be that vacancy, but next year they might be. So keep trying. And
that's great advice, Kitty.
And I think your testimony really highlights how impactful a career at CERN can be. Not just through the work you carried out while you were here at CERN, but also the people you met whilst working at the lab. So to find out more about your invention, let's just have a quick look at this short clip called The Big Idea.
There are 18.4 million children not getting ASIC vaccinations because of the challenges of the last mile transportation. I was shocked, and then I thought there must be a way to solve it. The goal is to create a reliable cooling device to deliver these life-saving vaccines to the people who need them. Even though I know this is the right thing to do, it's just bloody difficult.
Oh, Kitty, that's incredible. Could you tell us a bit more about your invention, which I think is called SMILE?
yes, definitely. So SMILE was created because I went to a humanitarian event at CERN in 2014. So at that event, I realized that there were so many important challenges that need solving around the world. And one of them being that the vaccine gets spoiled and then people don't get these life-saving medicines or drugs in these hard-to-reach areas. And because I happen to have a background in making things in super, super cold environments. So keeping vaccines cold were incredibly, you know, for me, much, much warmer. So I thought, you know, there must be something that I can do about it. And so that film that you just saw, this is a documentary film made by the MIT Solve, and this just came out in the US, and hopefully it will come to Europe, and I really recommend you to go and have a look.
Now, once again, it's marvelous to see the incredible impact of CERN alumni, as we saw with Patrick. Thank you so much, Kitty. And I hope you can stay with us also for the Q&A session. So if any of you got any questions you want to ask, go ahead and put them in the chat.
All right, so we've met two amazing CERN alumni who have shared their experience of their time at CERN. And we really hope it has inspired you to take the plunge and take part as well. Like I said earlier, no matter how far in your career you are, you can contribute to CERN's success. You really can join without any experience. And for example, as a university student, you can join CERN for up to 14 months within the technical or administrative student program. But we also have the summer student program, for example, where over 300 students join us every summer, the first of them just having arrived on Monday. We also have the Origin program, or the doctoral student program, the Quest program for graduates, the research fellowship, but also many staff openings which you can apply for. Currently, our administrative, technical, and doctoral student programs are open, but also the research fellowship and the Origin program for early career professionals. If you would like to apply, simply go on our website, career.cern, and apply. All the application requirements, documents to upload, and the application deadlines will be listed in the respective vacancy notice. And also, I need to mention, although CERN is based in the French-speaking area, you can join even without speaking French. We do have two working languages here at CERN, English and French. And if you only speak English, join us and then learn here, either on the job or in daily life or in our language center. Yes, so if you are interested in working at CERN, scan the QR code, maybe we can show it again, and join our talent community or apply to any of our jobs directly.
And having worked at CERN since 1999, I can confirm that it's an amazing place to work. It's not just because we're taking part in the world's largest scientific experiment, or because we're working in an international and a collaborative environment, but also because of the fabulous work-life balance that Kitty mentioned earlier on. CERN is straddled across the Swiss-French border, and it's a place where you can enjoy a multitude of activities and different sports like hiking, lake swimming, and many, many more. Now, our next guest actually taught me how to snowboard, believe it or not. We're delighted to introduce you to James Purvis, who's the head of human resources, but is also a qualified snowboard instructor and has spent many, many winters on the slopes, sharing his passion for winter sports with other members of the CERN Ski Club. So we have over 45 different clubs here at CERN. Welcome, James, to our Twitter Live. Thank you so much for joining us. And would you like to tell us how you came to work at CERN and how your career blossomed whilst you were here?
So thank you very much, Rachel. And indeed, as Barbara said, I didn't speak French when I joined as a student or know how to snowboard. So hopefully both of them are up to a reasonable enough level now, and they're part of many of the skills that I've learned here at CERN. So I had a fantastic opportunity of joining as an intern, came out for 6 months many years ago, then went and came back and applied for the graduate program where I was successful, and had a career about 15 years in IT, really at the forefront of various information technologies, not quite AI as Patrick was in, but a fantastic career in IT. And then the last 15 years, I've effectively had a second career in HR department, learning every day, really feeling the energy of this organization and the collaboration and the international environment in which we work. I can only recommend it, whether you come back on a different status like I did, or whether you use it as a springboard for moving on to somewhere else. Either way is a fantastic opportunity.
Thanks, James.
Thank you so much. So yeah, looking at your career within CERN is definitely very impressive, but as Kitty and Patrick showcased, and as you have mentioned, it can definitely be also a fantastic springboard for one's career somewhere else.
Indeed, we have so many programs, as Barbara mentioned earlier. You can come here with no experience like I did my first internship. You can come on the technical or administrative student program. You can come back on one of the graduate programs. And I think we onboard around 1,500 people a year. Now, obviously, we're not going to manage to keep everybody, the 1,500 for the full time here at CERN. But the fantastic opportunities of having just CERN as a label, as a stamp on your career, as the experience, as the skills and competencies you obtain, the collaboration, the working with international people. We've seen so many people with so many different trajectories. We just have two here today. And I think every time I fly through the airport of Geneva and land there and remember that the CEO himself is actually a CERN alumni, you see CERN alumni all over the world.
Yeah, that's correct. So if you sign up to alumni.cern, you'll see a map where our alumni are spread out in over 100 countries. Now, thank you so much, James. Can you stick around for our Q&A segment, which is just coming up in a minute? So we have some questions that will be coming up soon. And I just wanted to say, there you have it. Are you ready to submit your application and work in a place like nowhere else on Earth? Now, I believe we do have some questions. We've got our first question for Patrick. So, Patrick, what do you miss most about working at CERN? So what is it you miss about the CERN atmosphere?
Well, I was just at CERN 3 weeks ago and we had a coffee, so I was very happy to be back. Well, what I miss is working with this huge number of very smart people from all over the world. Obviously, where I'm now, we have smart people, but maybe not that diverse from a cultural perspective. And that's certainly what I miss.
Thank you, Patrick. Now, that is something also that we hear from other alumni. There is, here at CERN, we've got something which is called Restaurant 1, R1, where you can sit on the terrace. You could be sitting next to Nobel Prize winners. You could be sitting next to people who are working in different environments. You can be sitting next to the Director General, and everybody talks to everybody else, and you can have some really stimulating conversations. So I think that's what I would miss if I wasn't working at CERN. Now, I think we have another question coming up, which should be coming up on the screen any minute. So again, no, this is not, we've got a different question, I think, because, well, I'm going to ask the question whilst we wait for this one to flash up. This one is for Kitty. Can you tell us, Kitty, what stage you're at with your SMILE project?
Yes, of course. So we recently did a very big trial in Cameroon that was funded by the UPS Foundation. And the Cameroon government, they loved it. They loved SMILE. And they would like to upgrade the system by using 2,700 SMILE units. So they're currently looking for donors to buy the devices for them. And after that, we'll be able to move into production so that people around the world can be benefited from the device.
Thanks, Kitty. So there, if anybody wants to donate to Kitty's Adiabatic and the SMILE vaccinations to solve the last mile issue with vaccinations, then please, you can contact us at alumni.relations@cern.ch, or you can look her up on LinkedIn or Twitter, or if you're an alum, you can look her up on the alumni.cern platform. Quick, Kitty, we have a question for you coming up, just the time it takes for it to flash up on the screen. So, Kitty, are you currently hiring Adiabatic? So this is somebody who may be interested in working in your company. I know that Kitty's had a few...
No, so currently we're always welcoming... Right, so currently we... Sorry, I think there's a time lagging. So we welcome volunteers at this minute. However, well, job opportunities in the future. So do, yeah, check out our website or reach out to me on LinkedIn.
Great. So also being a volunteer is something great that you can add to your CV. Now, I wonder if I might jump in with a question for James, who's head of human resources here at CERN. James, I'm wondering if you could give one golden nugget of advice for people who want to start work, you want to apply for a job at CERN.
I would say golden nugget is really make sure that what you're applying for really matches your skills, your competencies, your time in your career. So if you're currently studying, look at the internship opportunities. If you're an experienced professional, look at the staff. If you're a recent graduate, look at the graduate opportunities. There are many, many opportunities there, and pick the one that really is the closest match to your heart, that maybe, you know, brings some passion out in you and when you apply, and make sure you put on your application why you think you're a really good match for the job. You know, it's a two-way partnership. You want to get the best out of CERN, we want to get the best out of you, so spend time on your application and make sure it's a great match. And if at first you don't succeed, keep on trying. Many people have what we call the silver medalist approach, you know, successful maybe on a second or third time, so keep trying and don't give up.
That's exactly what Kitty said. Yes, thank you so much. I understand that there's also a question for me. So, what can we expect during the third Collisions event? Well, you're going to have to register and come and find out. So, just to give you an overview, we're going to be organizing it, as Charlotte said, in the CERN Science Gateway, which is CERN's flagship outreach and education center. We are expecting between 500 and 700 people. We're going to have really inspirational talks with amazing alumni. There's going to be fantastic networking opportunities. We're also going to be welcoming different companies who are keen to recruit and many other things, awards, a networking dinner. So I can only encourage you to sign up and join us at this event. And if you want to take part, then contact us on alumni.relations@cern.ch. Okay, so one final thing that I should say is that we have identified some winners of the fantastic CERN Alumni Umbrella, and we've also identified a winner of the amazing CERN goodie bag. So we'll be contacting you very shortly. I won't announce the names live, but we'll be contacting you very soon, and we'll be sending you your excellent prize. So thank you very much for taking part in that. And that just about wraps it up for our celebration of the 6th anniversary of the CERN Alumni Network. We were delighted to share Patrick and Kitty's stories.
And very honored to welcome the head of international relations, Charlotte Baracali, and the head of HR, James Purvis.
Thank you.
Now, if you work at CERN currently, or if you have worked at CERN and you haven't joined the Alumni Network yet, please do so by going to alumni.cern and then pressing on the button, join. And also come back to CERN for third collisions from the 9th to the 11th of February 2024, which is in the year of CERN's 70th anniversary.
And if you want to become a CERN alum, but first have an amazing experience at CERN, apply today.
So many thanks to Kitty, to Patrick, to Charlotte, to James, to my co-host Barbara, and thank you to you for tuning in. I'm sorry that there was a delay, so it's goodbye from me.
And goodbye from me.
Thank you.
And we leave you with a sneak peek of inside the prototype Dune experiment. So please join our colleagues for an upcoming interactive live, which will be taking place on LinkedIn from the Neutrino Platform on the 15th of June from 6 p.m. CEST. And stay connected.